To the cloud.
To the cloud.
Never done
To the
this
cloud.
And beyond.
I love that.
It said to the cloud or to your computer, so I put it to the cloud. All right. So I had asked Dayna before to teach us the session, and this is what, the 4th time we've rescheduled this, Dayna?
I know.
Right?
Life keeps happening. Yes. Hopefully life, and how crazy it is that we're doing this.
We
We're not
finally
doing
got
it
it
live,
down.
but yeah, we finally got
okay.
it down. Yeah, life has been happening to me. So
So
I will just, do you have
I
a
want to
plan
give
of
you an
action?
introduction. Just a minute here.
Oh.
Hold on, I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to,
Jeff, we're looking at,
oh, sorry. Yeah, if we don't know what we're looking at with Jeff there. Okay. That's okay. I'm hoping it's ceiling or something. So I asked Dayna to share because I was seeing series out there called How I Built It, right? And I thought, let's hear from some of our top agents about how they built their business. And I remember Dayna saying to me once upon a time, how her business had gone from this level to this level. And I said, what was the difference? And she said, oh, I followed the models. That she finally started actually doing the MREA book and following that model and then following Shift. And when she started to implement those things in her life, in her business, then everything took off. It's like everything came together. And I know you built your business during the last shift. So I thought you could really have a lot of practical content to share with us around that. So with that said, Dayna, I'd love to hear how you built it using the KW systems and models.
perfect. Well, and I'll just share, you can shut me up anytime. If you have questions, you want to stop me. I want this just to be a free-for-all. I really don't want to be a talking head to you guys, which I am at the moment. A 3/4. I got my maps. Lab shirt on too. I am a maps coach. All right, so I am a school teacher by trade. And I taught elementary school. And when I was blessed to have my child, I was able to stay home. And being an entrepreneur by just kind of natural whatever, I started a drapery business. And in my basement all day, every day for 9 years, while my son was at school, I was by myself and I made window coverings. My only human contact would be the UPS man when he would come to bring the fabric, and every once in a while the designers would stop by my workshop. And it got to be, I mean, if you're alone, like solitary for a long period of time and you're a high I, that's not a good thing. So when we moved to Minnesota, hi Tim, we decided that I would try something different. And through a series of crazy God things, I ended up in real estate. I'm a high I, high S, medium D, and this much C. And if you know the disc file program, whatever, a C is your admin. And somebody hired me to be their admin. I don't know if you even knew that, Kelly. Kelly was my admin. Wendy, that's kind of a scary thing.
Yeah.
So very, very quickly we discovered that was not my gift. And the guy wanted me, he said, just go get your license and you can be my buyer's agent. Well, he was clueless. He didn't know what he was doing. He was at another company with me. He finally decided to move on to a different company, and a gentleman who is now a team leader, Craig Young, said to me, we think you're going to be really good. You just don't know what you're doing. Can you come and join me and my mom's team? It was he and his mom. And so literally I would call him and say, okay, this is what this person said. Now what do I say to him? And he would tell me. I would say it. I'd call him back and say, okay, this is what they said. Now what do I do? And he just coached me through single thing I did. So at a very early time in my career, I realized the value of a coach. He came in one day and said, Dayna, I've heard of this new company called Keller Williams. I think we should join it. So literally in the middle of the night, we snuck out, joined Keller Williams, and I was given the MREA book, You know, they're like, here, read the book, all this other stuff, and I just kind of was playing at real estate. So I played, we joined in 2006. I played for about, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, really didn't do much of anything, just kind of played at it. And still sold about 26 homes just by grit and because I talk a lot to people. Realized that I'm doing something completely wrong. David Sewell was our team leader at the time, and he did a business planning class, and he said, all right, sit down, we're going to talk about how you're going to plan out your business. And the first thing he said is write a number that is so outrageous. This was before I sold 26 homes. That is so outrageous that it scares you. Well, as a teacher and a drapery maker, I never made more than $20,000 a year. So I thought, outrageous, I'll triple that. So I put $60,000 down. He walked over, looked over at my shoulder and my paper and laughed at me and said, that's a joke, Dayna. Double it. And yeah, Eric or Nick, I was like, yeah, right. My husband doesn't even make $120,000. You want me to double that? He said, yeah, double it. And then we worked backwards and he showed me the plan of how many deals I'd have to do based upon my average sale price to get to that 120. I'm happy to report at the end of that year, I had $118,000 in commissions and $2,000 in profit sharing because Lowell Langford, who's a commercial agent, sold a hotel, and I brought him to Keller Williams, so I got $2,000 in profit share. So I hit my 120. That was the thing that made me go, oh, there's a plan to this. There's actually a way to do this. So I read the MREA. I'll be truthful, I did not read the whole thing. I read the first part of how to do it. And that was in probably, I don't know. This came out long after I started doing this because this was, no, I guess it did in 2004. So it's probably 2007. Who knows what happened in 2007? Yeah, dive. I never had a down year. This is the book that you need to read. This is the book that you need to understand backwards and forwards. I have questions written in this book to ask my coaching clients. This is what I learned on. I went to Bold a couple times. I was pulling my hair out because I was doing about 26 deals by myself. My husband came to me and said, you pick me or real estate. And divorce is not an option in our family, so I had to figure something out. I had a dear friend who said, Dayna, you can do both. And the gist was if you basically systematize it and do it right. So when he talks about the models and systems, the first thing I discovered was in the triangle, it's leads, listings, and leverage. I had leads because I networked like crazy. I had some listings, but I had no leverage and I had no life. So I hired someone, Kelly Zwilling, who works for Christie now. When I shut down, Kelly now works for Christie. But she was my leverage. And if you follow the models, when you have too much work to do and you look at the system and you follow the model, then you and an admin. Now there's a way to hire an admin right, and there's a way to hire an admin wrong. Luckily, I had somebody who had been all through, it wasn't career visioning back then, it was something different, who had been through all of that and helped me hire the right person. That's the key to growing your business.
What year was that, Dayna?
Cody is 18, so that was 9 years ago. So 2001. 11, sorry, 11? Yeah.
Okay.
So I played at real estate for a few years before I hired her. And I was still doing well. I just didn't have a life. Because that high C thing, I don't have. So everything I did took me 20 times longer to do.
Mhm.
Nick, you're shaking your head. Are you?
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. I
He
mean,
has
tracking.
almost your same profile.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can feel my pain.
Yeah.
You could totally feel my pain. So, I mean, loading stuff on the internet, I would screw it up and I have to start it all over. I forget to put it in KWLS first, and I have to go back and start it. I mean, it was just a disaster. So hiring the right person is key. And that when I say the right person, if you have not taken career visioning, take it.
what? Take
And
what?
all the career visioning,
Thank you.
it's how to hire. The second half of it is how to motivate. It's the 30, 60, 90 part. Well, I'm messing that up because it used to be
Yeah,
lead, motivate, whatever. What was it, Wendy? Motivate, something,
Yeah.
something.
yeah. When we first called it 30, 60, 90, I couldn't remember 30, 60, 90. Now I can't remember the old name.
I know, whatever. Take the class.
Lead,
and
motivate.
Yeah, that was the one. Keep, lead, motivate, whatever. So the key to you scaling your business is to hire the right people. When Gary Keller says leverage will get you where you want to go, it's so true. To hire the right people, you have to know how to hire the right people. Hey, Joe. Hi, Joe. So once you have the right person, they're going to create the systems for you. The other key is education and training. Keller Williams, the beauty about Keller Williams, we have training for anything, everything. You could literally train all day and never sell real estate. So the things you really need to know are lead generation. How do you do that? How do you need to hire? If you can get those two things down, you will be incredibly successful. Lead generation first, because you got to have enough leads to be able to make enough money to hire somebody, and then how do you hire them? Once you have that, it really isn't too terribly difficult. Business planning. How do you plan your business? It's just like David Sewell did with me. How much money do you want to make, Dayna? Okay, let's divide that by how many deals you need to do. And if you know how many deals you need to do, now you can just figure out how many people you need to talk to. Once they made it that simple, a huge light bulb went off in my head. The other thing I did was I took bold. I took bold and hired Kelly in the first year. Not my first year of real estate, my first year I got serious about it. And those two things really launched my business. When you're ADHD and you're trying to figure out how to lead generate every day, that's not an easy thing to do. The key to real estate is consistency. Having the accountability of having an admin look at me and say, Dayna, go back to your call. Dayna, did you follow up with somebody? Right, Terry? Yep. Did you make your calls? Did you follow up with that person? Did you remember to call somebody? If you don't have the money for an admin, you can have a buddy. I mean, Nick, you and Terry could check in with each other every hour, literally. Joe, you could check in with somebody. You can literally create a Zoom conference where you guys are all lead generating together, all on mute. You lead generate for 20 minutes, you check in. You lead generate for 45 minutes, you unmute. It's the accountability that helps you get there. I had the blessing of being in our market center when it was a little bit smaller, and we had a very high level of accountability. People would walk by each other's offices and ask the question, did you make your calls? There was a gong. Christy had a gong. I had a bell. What other things that when we made a deal, we would, got an appointment, we would ding the bell. When you're alone, it's really hard to do that. The most successful agents are actually in the office. If you cannot afford an office space, we got call rooms, we got tables out there. Get your butt in there. There's really something magical about watching the people that are really good make appointments. And get your butt moving. I mean, I can put this all in a 1-minute statement. I read the books. I followed the books. I went and got educated. I had accountability because I was in the office, and then I got a coach. We have Trey. If you're not involved in the productivity coaching thing, get involved with Trey. Once he gets you to a level where you're making about $150,000, get yourself a mastery maps coach, and that's going to take you to the next level. And I'm not saying that because I am a coach. I'm saying that because I was coached. And I had 4 different coaches. I'm on my 5th coach now. They say if you give us 5 years, we'll get you $1 million. And I'll just be very transparent. My last year in full production, we grossed about $863,000. That is stupid money for a school teacher. I mean, really, that is like, how did that happen? How is that even possible? And that was with 2 salespeople and 2 admins. That's not a 7th level team. That's not a lot of people to take care of. That's not a lot of people to have to keep track of. That's following the systems and the models. Did I do that overnight? No. I mean, I haven't been in production since really 2017. So really between 2011, when I hired Kelly, and 2017, when I basically stopped production, I ramped up from the $120,000 to over $800,000. 6 years. Wherever you are now, you can be there in 6 years. You can be there in 5 years. There are people that do it in a couple years. It really all depends on what are you willing to do. I'm going to ask the question, Joe, unmute yourself. Why did you get into real estate?
Why did I get into real estate?
Uh-huh.
Because my body couldn't handle lawn and landscaping anymore. And I love
Okay.
real estate. I love everything about real estate. So I'm right now like a sponge, soaking up
Okay.
everything.
Okay. What appealed to you about real estate?
It's cliche, but I really do like helping people.
Okay.
I mean, most real estate agents say I want to help people, and I get that. But I truly want to help somebody in the position that they're in. Using my experiences of what I've been through inside of my life, I can help somebody potentially inside of their life with some of the knowledge and some of the experiences that I've been through to help them, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, there was probably, I mean, there's a lot of other occupations you could do where you help people. I mean, you could push a wheelchair around for somebody. What was it that appealed to you about real estate in general?
In general, I love, like I said, I love homes. The whole dynamic of understanding how construction works for me is amazing. How a home is put together, showing people on how things work inside of a house, watching that or potentially seeing that house become a home, you know, because right now it's not a home, or it's just a house. It's not a home until that person makes it their home. And for me, that right now is what's driving me to be able to help Mr. or Mrs. Seller find potentially their first house, and seeing the look on their face when they finally get to buy or purchase their first home. I mean, I'm getting chills just thinking about that, you know?
Yeah.
or the person that's looking to downsize. Okay, how can I help you downsize into something that works for you as a person in the stage of where you're at inside of your life? But yeah, I mean, for me, that's what it's about. Is, like I said, it's cliche, but it's helping somebody find that right home to make that house a home.
Good. Did the flexibility of the schedule of real estate, was that a play in it at all?
Yes, it is. Because when I was in landscaping, obviously the weather dictated my life. With this, weather doesn't dictate my life. I
Just
can.
coronavirus does.
Well, it is to a point. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It seems like it's harder being a newer agent. You know, not being inside the office, being around people where I can ask them questions.
Right.
But we're all inside of that right now.
Yep.
But I'm still trying to find a way, being able to do the things that they're asking us to do. Reading Wendy's wonderful posts that she puts out every single day.
I know, they're so good.
think they're awesome. But that's just me.
I make it.
I get to still be engaged as an agent, even though I'm not there. I get to ask questions to other agents that are way above where I want to be right now. Because I mean, what you said, in 6 years, I can have almost $1 million. I've never come close to $100,000 in my life on my own. Okay, so that's, I don't want to make money the thing for me, but at the same point in time, I do want to hit that $100,000 threshold to make it in 1 year, gross,
Okay.
or excuse me, net. Yeah, net rather than gross, because I got to go do the numbers backwards to get where I need to actually get to. So those are why I'm inside of real estate.
Good. So the money was part of it, the flexibility and helping people. Nick, any different for you?
Not really in terms of components, maybe just in terms of the order in which they happened for me.
Okay. What's the order for you?
Yeah, well, the first time my interest was kind of picked was my fiance, her parents do real estate appraisal out in the Truckee, Tahoe area. So I went on a job with them one day, and we were walking through a $10 million mansion, and I'm like, hold on a second. Not only is this place beautiful, but you tell me if I sold this, how much is that paycheck?
Yeah.
So, and then, so that was, I was like, okay, I need to start looking into this a little bit more. Because I grew up under the same roof as business owners as well. My parents started their own company 40 years ago, and they're still going strong, and they're growing, and it's really exciting to be around. So, and then once I started really looking into it, the service aspect kind of came into it. Because like real estate is not what you see on TV, with it's helping the people who just lost their jobs and they need to either sell their home to make it to get by for the next couple months, or they need to downsize because that's what their situation calls for. It's just so, the layers are just so numerous that it's that really became apparent to me after all the other stuff. But it hits harder that way for me. It hit a lot harder for me that way. So it validated my decisions a little bit more, I guess.
Mhm.
Good. So when we moved from Kansas up to here, and I had a drapery business, Megan, you missed some of that. Glad to see you here. General Mills, my husband worked for General Mills. They did a spousal relocation job assistance program. And so they put me through this whole battery of tests, and they let me meet with somebody. And it was interesting. It came out lawyer, pastor, teacher, not in this order, real estate sales, counselor. And if you put all those together, that's a real estate agent. You're definitely a counselor. You're definitely in sales. You got to know a little bit of legal stuff. The preacher, man, can you have to sometimes preach. You got to pray an awful lot too. I mean, all of those really came down to real estate. And you're right, Nick. We're dealing with well, a death, a divorce, and a move are three of the most stressful things that somebody goes through. Sometimes we're involved in all three. Somebody's died, we got to sell their house. Somebody's getting divorced, we got to sell their house. Somebody's been born, we got to help them buy a bigger house. A job has changed. Oh my gosh, I don't want to leave, but I just lost my job. Now we got to move clear across country. We got to move clear across town, whatever it is. We're involved in an aspect of somebody's life that is more important than almost any other thing. It's shelter. What does everybody need? Water, food, and shelter. And we're a part of that major, major thing. Megan, what brought you to want to be in real estate?
Hi.
Hi.
I think Nick and Joe really nailed it on the head. For me, it was, I have known for years and years and years that I love working with people and that I love helping people. Like I've been doing that, but every different industry that I've done that in, it just hasn't quite been right. So it's like I've served tables, I've worked customer service at Nordstrom, I've managed residential housing, like I've done all these different aspects, but it was like, it wasn't quite the right fit. And, you know, honestly, like my faith played a really huge part in it. And with everything going on in my own family with my stepmom being a missionary and her business behind and kind of all of that. And as I said, God played a huge hand in it. And it was just, it was right. It was like, oh, okay, now all these pieces, it makes sense. Like it fits together. Like all of these skills that I've learned at all these different jobs and employers across the years, like now my skills have come together and so that I can provide the best service possible. And that's really what I enjoy doing is just like, how can I help you? You know, like Nick and I we chatted a little bit this morning and it was like, you know, right now, like, it's not just, it's so not even about trying to like sell a house right now. It's like, I want my people to know that regardless of what you have, like I'm here for you. Even if it's not real estate, if you need a recommendation for a therapist, like I will reach out to my circle and get a recommendation for a therapist. Like it doesn't matter what you need. I want to be that person for you.
Good.
That for me is just, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Is the money part aspect a positive to you?
Yeah, the money is a positive to me, but in a different way. I feel the more money I am blessed with gives me opportunities to bless others. So I don't like thinking of money in terms of what I can spend it on. I live very simplistically and minimally in that sense. But the notion of being blessed abundantly and financially excites me in the sense that I get to bless others. So.
Yeah, and I just want to mention that too, because Joe said something about the money aspect too. It's not necessarily about the money. And in Bold, and I don't know if they still do this, but they used to do where we had an exercise where everybody had to bring $21 bills in. And we gathered in our groups and people threw the money on top of it, and we were supposed to say, I'm a money magnet, I'm a money magnet, I'm a money magnet. And the first year I was in Bold, I couldn't do it. And I talked to my coach at the time, and I said, the Bible clearly says the love of money is the root of all evil. Mm. And my coach said, what was the second word you said? I went, the love of money is the root of all evil. Mm. And she said basically what you just said, Megan. If you have more money, can you give more? Can you serve more? Can you help more? And that, the next year, in Bold, I'm like, bring it on, bring it on.
Right.
Once I understood what Gary Keller always says, it's not about the money, it's what good can you do with the money. Dayna Murray is the original writer for Bold, and she was the head of the MAPS coaching program. She's out writing, doing other things on her own. I had the opportunity to talk to her, and she was in a small group, and she shared something that she has shared with many people, so I'm not telling you something that she wouldn't share on her own. We were talking about money and how much money can we help our clients make? And is it all about the money? Is it about growing everything? And she goes, let me just tell you a story. She said, I was backstage ready to come out and do a family reunion, mega camp, something. And she looked down because her phone had lit up. And she saw that it was her son. And she thought, I'm literally about to walk past the curtain to go on stage. So she swiped it, decline. It rang again immediately. She swiped it decline, thinking, okay, he'll get the hint. I'm about to do something. It's okay. On the third time, she thought, okay, there's a problem because he never calls 3 times in a row. She picked it up and found out that her daughter-in-law had cancer. She had to put the phone down, say a quick prayer, go on stage, put a smile on her face, and perform, and do, be the Dayna Kokoska that everybody knows and loves. The amazing thing was, what she told me was, when her son came to her and said, Mom, there's a treatment, and I think it was in Germany, it's going to be $35,000. We don't have the money for that. She picked up her checkbook and she wrote a check for $35,000. It wasn't a drop in the bucket to her. It was everything to her son and daughter-in-law. And when she said that, I thought, okay, she's right. What I learned long ago, it's not about the money, it's about the good the money can do. And she put it back in perspective as, what could that good do? We never know when we're going to need more money. Terry was sharing earlier, my mom just passed away. And before she died, there was a possibility that she was going to have to go into a nursing home. $15,000 a month. $15,000 a month. My mother had been paying long-term care insurance that would pay $80 a day.
Oh,
That's absurd.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. She's been paying on it for many, many years.
so close.
Anyway, my older brother and I, my older brother never graduated from any college, barely made it through high school. He's a painting contractor, makes buku money because he paints giant hotels and whatever, and he puts a lot of money away. We were very successful, blessed in our real estate business that I could put money away. And he looked at me and goes, can you pay half? I said, yep, I can. That's what real estate can actually help you do. My little brother just called me a few minutes ago before we got on this call to tell me that he just lost his job at least for the next 30 days unpaid. He sells copy machines and helps the sales guys with copy stuff. Well, there's no business that's working, so they don't need copy machines, and he sells the repair stuff. He also got his real estate license 2 years ago, because I've been trying to explain to him his job. He's 57 years old. He's been with the company 27 years. He makes $60,000 a year. I said, Trent, his name's Trent. I said, is this your opportunity to go full-fledged into real estate? Your sister's here. I will train you. I will coach you every week for free. Is this your chance? Because he came to us in tears and said to me, I can't afford to help you with Mom's nursing home stuff. Through God's grace, Mom went to heaven before any of this all happened. This craziness happened. Her hospital bill, we just got the first one, was $290,000. I know. 21 days in ICU. I don't think that's the final bill either. Luckily, she's got out of pocket of only $1,500. So thank you, Jesus, for that. Anyway, I just tell you all that. I know this is supposed to be about how do you do real estate. I want you to get a mindset of this is not a job. This is a career. This is a business that can bring you, if you do it right, like I like to call stupid money. And that stupid money can bless others in amazing ways. It's not about more stuff that you can get. It's what can you do with it. For my son, who just turned 30, I bought him this book. And I bought him the yellow book, which is Buy and Hold, because I wish I would have known very early on in my career. I did not do anything in the investment world. Well, we did one very huge mistake, which is like the first chapter in the book. Don't buy a speculative house. Don't buy what do you call it?
Spec
When
house?
you,
The spec
it's not a
house.
spec
yeah.
house. It's, yeah, don't go into speculation. If
Speculative
it's something,
housing.
yeah, whatever. Yes. Don't do that. We lost a fortune on it, and so we got burned on it, and my husband said we're not doing it again. However, this career can afford you amazing opportunities to build wealth, not only for your life, but if your family needs you at some point, for your children someday if you have children, for supporting missionaries. We have many missionaries that we are supporting right now, and we can. So that's the key. So basically, devour this book. Learn the models out of here. Devour this book, inside, outside, then start it over and read it again, and simply follow it. The other most important thing you can do is follow the org chart. Trey can get you these, Wendy can get you these. It starts with you. And as quickly as you can, you want to leverage and get an admin. Not just any admin, talent. And the MREA talks about what is hiring talent. Do you have true talent? Kelly Zwilling is true talent. The girl's brilliant. I would say in a million ways that my business, a lot of it, my success was attributed to how good Kelly was and the education I got her. I had to laugh when we moved offices. I found the operations manual that Kelly had put together. And I giggled because all of it came from a class that I paid for her to go to every single month. It was a perfect assistant class. All the things that she implemented for my business came from that class. The beauty is she knew how to implement them. She did it. She tracked it. She followed it. She kept me accountable. There's no secret sauce to this. There are 5 things you're supposed to be doing every day as a real estate agent. Do you know what the 5 are?
Lead gen. And make appointments, go on appointments,
Follow
get
up.
contracts, and the follow-up, and close the deals.
Yeah.
Lead generate, go on appointments, negotiate offers, scripting role play. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting one. Lead generate, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate offers, script and role play. The last one is the one that gets lost all the time. So my question is, any of you play an instrument? You play the violin, Terry?
Yeah.
How many hours do you think you practiced before your very first recital?
Oh, a whole bunch. That was a long time ago. But yeah, a whole bunch of hours. Yep. Yeah, and what's funny
Okay.
is my best friend and I played together, and that was the competitive thing. We always pushed each other to be better. So I kind of
That's your accountability. Yep. So you practice for a whole bunch of hours. So real estate is a job, but it's also a performance. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
So you get on the phone, you're performing. You sit to do a listing presentation, you're performing. You sit down with a buyer to do a consultation, you're actually performing, because those are all scripts. Jay Leno, Jimmy Fallon, I don't know who all the other guys are. They all have scripts. Do you know your scripts? Could you give me your entire listing presentation right now? No. Do you know all the pivot scripts that were sent out? So that when you're talking to people, you know what to say to them?
I sent them to you guys.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I sent them to all my coaching clients too, and they're like, what is that script you sent me? Yeah, this is your job. Go back to those 5 things.
Yeah.
Lead generate, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate offers, script and role play. It really should be reversed. Should be script and role play first.
mhm.
I think this is where I got really good. I'd met a guy at family reunion. We had a group, like they did the last time, they just fed us. So everybody just came in and sat down wherever you wanted and they fed us. I sat next to the guy, his name was Brad Puffer, and I had seen him on stage with Gary Keller. And here I'm sitting next to him. And I'm thinking, awesome. I said, can I just ask you questions? He's like, yeah. I'm like, where does your business come from? And at the time, he was Expireds and FSBOs. That was where most of his business come from. And I said, how do you know what to say? He goes, well, I script every morning with different people. And he looked right and he goes, you want to be my scripting partner? I'm like, yes. If you're up on stage with Gary, I want to learn from you. So sure enough, every Thursday, and we didn't say, hey, Terry, how's it going? How's your daughter? How are things at the church? No, he picked up the phone and he said, hi, this is Brad Puffer, Keller Williams. I'm calling because I saw your property came off the market as an expired listing. I'm curious, do you still want to sell your house? I said, that's your script? He's like, yeah, that's my script. So I say the same thing. Do you still want to sell your house? If they said no, I would go right into the objection handlers, and I had a whole list of them, and I learned them. Really, I'm just curious, did you put your house on the market just for fun? You let people traipse through your house, and you cleaned up your house, and you left your house just for fun? Come on, you must have had a real reason for why you wanted to sell your house. And they'd laugh, and then they'd start to tell me, and I'd find out their motivation. Oh, great. So what's important about you moving to Florida? I want to get the hell out of the stupid snow. Oh, great. What would it do for your life if you moved to Florida? Well, I wouldn't worry about going to the mailbox and slipping on the ice. Oh, yeah, that is kind of scary. Do you know somebody that's actually fallen on the ice? Go to the mailbox? Yeah, I actually do. Well, if I could help you get your home sold in the next 30 days, you'd want to hear about that, wouldn't you? Well, I don't know. What are you going to do differently? Well, that's exactly why we should get together, so I can show you what I do differently. Well, you know, my agent, he was really working hard. I think it's just the market. Oh, really? That's interesting. How long's your house been on the market? Well, 60 days. Well, you know, in the last 60 days, I've sold 4 houses. So the market's really good right now. I think it'd probably be a good thing for us to sit down and talk about it, don't you? And they'd probably say, yeah, and I'd make an appointment. I am not a smart person. I barely made it through college. I taught first grade. We didn't get past 12s. I am not a rocket scientist. I learned my scripts. There aren't that many. There's about 5 objection handlers. Once you learn those 5, great. You can answer any question that they have. So this week, how much time have you spent on your scripts? Show me with a show of hands how many minutes. Honest. Joe? Okay. Your first job, is to learn your scripts. Because otherwise, how are you going to know what to say?
I would say this.
Terry's going into the beach. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Terry, that's it. Peace out.
She's in the
I
water.
would say the first script that they should be working on right now are just those ones that I've sent to them, the care scripts. That should be the first thing you're working on right now with the people in your life. And actually, these are probably the easiest scripts you'll ever work on. And they are all coming from a place of caring for people, which from what I've heard from all of you is your natural bent anyway.
Here's
Pick
another.
that up and call everybody in your database, to call the local businesses around you and find out how you can help them. there are so many places you can be going right now using that simple care script from KW.
But along
Yeah, I'll give you.
the same lines too, when, you know, what I learned when I was first on your team, Dayna, I thought that I was going to do really great because I had a gift of gab. That can like shoot you in the foot every time. You have to learn your scripts because you can go off on tangents. You can learn everything about their family and everything. And then you hang up and you go, I didn't get the appointment and I just wasted how much time. I mean, that's the bottom line. You gotta stick to the script. You have to stick to the script.
Yep. And I'll give you a coaching moment. So what's the difference between market share and mind share?
Mind shares how much you're literally on their mind, in like would come to mind if somebody says, do you know a good realtor? And you're the first one that would come to their mind.
That's right. Right now, it's going to be hard to take market share. Right now, we can take a whole lot of mind share. That mind share will become market share later on. So what can you do to be in everyone's mind? The very first script is the customer service script. Hi, this is Dayna Murray with Keller Williams. Do you have just a couple minutes? The purpose of my call is to check in with you. I'm making calls to my clients and everyone I know to see if there's anything I can do for you or your family. How are you doing? How's your wife? How's your husband, kids, dogs, etc.? How's the company that you work for? What's going on with that? Are you able to stay home and be safe? This is my cell number. Please keep it and reach out if there's anything I can help you with. Groceries, medication picked up. I want to help. Also, if you know anyone that's in a desperate situation, please let me know and let me see what I can do to help. I may have some resources for you. I'm glad to speak to you, and I know this will be a challenging time. Again, thank you so much for speaking with me, and please remember to call me if you need anything. I'll do whatever I can to help. Now, that sounded like I was reading it because I was. I could pretty much do this script without it and make it not sound like I'm reading it, but I had to read it a few times first. Anywhere in there did I ask about real estate? No. Joe, you love to help people. This is help. How can I help you? There will be very few people that take this up. My gal last week that made 160 contacts last week, the most she's ever made in a year and a half I've been coaching her. 160 contacts, 2 listing appointments. She's pregnant. She's got 2 young kids running around. She can't physically do the listing appointment in person. She's going to do it by Zoom. Guys, there's ways to do real estate right now, and you have to take mind share. How many of you have done a Facebook post every morning that's telling people what's happening in the market in Minnesota? 2 seconds. Hey, this is Dayna Murray. I'm just reaching out to let you know real estate is still happening. I just looked on the MLS, and it looks like 42 properties just came on the market, and it looks like 35 have just gone off sold. Real estate's still happening. Every morning I'm going to keep you up to date. Interest rates are so low. Hope I can help you. If you need any help, give me a call. Click.
I post those every day. I gave you a graphic you can use if you are welcome to it.
Yeah, right now people want to see faces. The graphics, I wouldn't worry about the graphics right now. Know the numbers, but get your face on there. Put a big smile on your face. People need to see normalcy right now.
Hey,
Here's the
Dayna,
deal,
I got a
guys.
question
And I got,
for you.
yes, Joe.
So I was in design yesterday, and they had inside of there, it was a video that you could do. And I was doing the numbers for, it automatically is built for you. So if you haven't been inside of design to look at it, this is where I got the stuff from because I'm technically challenged.
Me too.
So, but it was already built for doing the neighborhoods and stuff, right? So I just put it on, I just went to my market where I'm at, and I just typed it in, and it showed all the numbers at that point in time. Is that the right way to potentially do this is my question to you guys. Because I'm not leaving my phone number, and I think that that's a mistake. I should start leaving my phone number inside of this when it says let's chat at the end. I think I'm going to start leaving my phone number at the end of that because I'm not getting any responses back from anybody at all when I put out all these different market data that comes from different areas of where I've been going to right now. Would that be the right thing to do?
I would think so. I get a little worried about posting your phone number on Facebook because there's a lot of weird people out there, but they can private message you if they're on your Facebook. That's an easy way to do it. You know, I would say that would probably be the easiest way to do it. The key is to get your face out there and to be a human contact. Right now, text videos, text voice, every human you have. Well, let me ask you this. Nick, how many people do you have in your database?
About 500.
How many people do you have in your phone?
4 something.
Really?
I don't know. I haven't looked lately.
Okay. How many people do you have on your Facebook page?
400 something. Yeah.
Okay, you're way ahead of most people. Most people have 400 in their database and 2,000 on their Facebook and 1,000 in their phone. Okay,
Oh.
Megan. So your job for the rest of this week is to contact every one of those people that's on your Facebook, on your Instagram, or in your phone and get them in your database.
Does that include deleting some maybe too?
Do you want to delete anybody?
Probably.
Okay, if they're people you know you hate.
Hate's a
You can't-
strong word, but maybe.
Okay, there are people you would never
Yeah.
want to be in a house with. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. If there's people that you don't want in your life, yes.
correct.
If there's people that you don't think will ever buy a house, do
Yeah.
not delete them. Because they may know somebody that may want to buy a house someday.
Yep.
So your job right now is to find mind share by keeping your face out there, using your scripts, talking to everybody that you know, devouring the shift book, learning the models. You've got time. Turn off Netflix. The other thing right now to do is to purge, and I mean that literally, your budget. What can you take out of your budget that is not an absolute necessity? That doesn't mean you can't add it back later.
I'm going to cut my cable.
What?
I'm just telling you that right now, Dayna.
Good. Text me when you cut it. We cut ours too.
But I'm asking you.
We have a
I'm asking you guys, what's the best route to go as far as, like, is it Sling? Is it somebody else? To where I'm cutting to where
We have Sling, and seriously, outside of Ohio State football on ESPN, there's no need to have it because it's just more stupid channels that we don't ever watch.
Yep.
I mean, you can always add it later. One of my clients called Vulcan 7, and they took his bill from $299 to $199. Any subscription that you have, call them. Say, things are tough right now. What can you do about my bill if you want to keep me? If you're going to get rid of cable, please do. One of my clients, it was $280 a month he was spending on his cable, phone, and internet. He kept his internet. He got rid of his cable and his phone, his landline.
Internet, depending
Crazy.
on how fast you need, we've got a contract that we locked into for $42 a month for internet. And it's more than enough for us. And we have antenna TV. And
We
it's
have
just
antenna TV
fine,
too.
but it can be done. The thing I wanted to add to what you were saying about the numbers and the calling, Dayna, this morning on Jim Shaw's broadcast at 7 in the morning, he had a guy on there who said a month ago, he would have 1 contact for every 8 dials. Now he is having a contact for every 3 dials. And he's seeing unbelievable results because people are home and people are hungry for a conversation, meaningful conversation. So those
Yep.
care calls that you can be making, you know, have gone from a 1 in 8 possibility of reaching somebody to 1 in 3 in that guy's case. And
Yep.
having real conversations and building relationships, which is That's where mind share and future market share starts.
So I do want to address that too. Yes, there are more people home and you will have more conversations. However, there may be less real estate happening. So don't be frustrated if you've talked to 100 people and none of them are going to be a future business for you. That is okay. You're talking mind share. So Lucy did 160 contacts and got 2 listings out of that. It takes usually 2 listings to get to 1 closing. So if we think about that, to end up with 2 closings, she's going to have to do 320 contacts. Are you tracking your numbers? And I'm talking about something as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I had a contact there. I had a contact here. Oh, I made an appointment. It doesn't have to be. This is what you really want to track your numbers, because you want to be able to figure out, okay, how many dials do I have to make to actually talk to somebody? How many talk to somebody do I have to have before I actually get an appointment? How many appointments do I have to actually get a listing? How many listings do I have to actually get a closing? If you guys are just starting your career, once you start this early, this will help you be able to create, all right, if I want to sell 50 homes, I'm going to have 100 listing appointments. To get 100 listing appointments, I'm going to have this many contacts. To get that many contacts, I'm going to have this many dials. The numbers can be this big. That's okay. At least you know in your mind, and you can be realistic about it. The biggest mistake I see with the clients that I work with that are paying for coaching every month, the ones that don't make it are the ones that don't look at this as a business and track what they're doing. Because you can't repeat what you don't know. Unless you track it, there's no way for you to know, all right, this week, in the middle of the coronavirus, I'm talking to one person every 3 dials I make, but I'm having to talk to 100 people before any of them even want to talk to me about real estate.
Dayna,
So knowing those numbers, yes, ma'am.
I was just going to ask, was that hard for you when you first started out? I struggle with that a lot.
Oh, yeah, because Kelly's the one that would finally start tracking it for me. I'd have to turn it into her.
Okay.
It is hard. Yeah, it is hard because I thought it had to be something fancy. And then this is how my clients are being successful, with hash marks. I'm like, at the end of the day, just text me, how many contacts did you make? You can keep on your inside how many, and it could be in a spiral notebook. It could be on a calendar. I don't care where you keep it. Just keep, how many calls did I make? Because what you're going to be surprised to find out if by the end of the week, whole week's going to go by and you're going to go, I really only talked to 20 people this whole week. And I should have talked to 30 a day. I should have talked to 50 a day. I should have talked to whatever it is a day.
Christy mentioned something about that the other day when she did a post on Facebook. She's like 40 contacts she does a day. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at that, I was like, wow.
Contacts.
Yeah, contacts.
That's not dials. And that contact, if it's a two-way, can be a text.
Right.
So I just hung up with one of my clients who's out in Florida. He's severely ADHD. He's got 2 young kids at home, and his wife is at home, and is supposedly a real estate agent too. And he's just pulling his hair out. And I said, okay, let's make a game out of it. How can we make a game out of this? I know you're ADHD. You can't focus for very long. So here's the deal. If you lead generate for 20 minutes, you win the award, you win the reward to be able to go and set your timer. You get to go spend 10 minutes with your kids. If you lead generate for 20 minutes, you can go on Facebook for 10 minutes. So we have 3 rewards built into every hour. He's going to use 20 minutes and then do something, 20 minutes and do something, 20 minutes and do something, 20 minutes going to do something. Make a game at it. You guys are at home. Make it fun. Do the Zoom thing where you guys set each other up and you're watching each other lead generate, and every 45 minutes stop and say, all right, Nick, how'd you do? Megan, how'd you do? Terry, how'd you do? Joe, what happened? Do you need a script? Should we role play a little bit? Get on Zoom every morning and script and role play with each other. Guys, we have the resources available, and I really have to get off the phone. I'll just summarize. This is not rocket science. Real estate is simple. It's not easy. The easy part comes when you've got accountability, because it is harder than Hades to do it by yourself. As much as you can, be in contact with each other. You're on this call. How many people in our market center are not on this call?
145.
Atta girl.
Yeah. All right, Nick, what's your biggest takeaway?
Well, really, this is something I've really been working hard on. I know it's only Tuesday, but it doesn't feel like Tuesday. This week is tracking. I've got my spreadsheet where I type in the names of the people I get in touch with, and it's been so incredibly helpful. So thank you for that reinforcement.
Good. Good. Megan, what's your big takeaway?
Mine is the simplicity of the scripts. Wendy sent me the care script last week, and I've been using that, and I really appreciate it. But it was kind of like Nick said, it's the nail in the coffin, the reinforcement of like, they're so easy, and they're there for a reason. Terry, as you were saying, I'm so ADD. If I don't have a script, I'm going to forget to ask you the most important thing on the phone call. Like, because I'm just and so it's just reinforcing, like, scripts aren't meant to make you robotic. For me, it's meant to keep me accountable, to make sure I'm hitting my points.
Okay, you guys, if you buy something from IKEA, does it come with a script?
Barely.
Okay, it does. It may not be great, but it actually comes with a script that says, put this here, put that here, match like objects. There should be 6 of these screws and 5 of this.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
This is your instruction. This is your instruction manual. I mean, the real instruction manual is the Bible, but that's another whole story. Joe, what's your takeaway?
My takeaway, I got 2 of them. One of them, I'm not doing my numbers the way I should.
Okay.
2, I'm not holding myself accountable the way that I should. And I get distracted very easily with my phone usually dinging. Oh, what's this? A message coming up on my computer. Oh, somebody posted something on Facebook. What's this? So for me, it's staying focused on what I'm doing at that point in time and doing my numbers the way I'm supposed to, because I'm seriously lacking.
Okay. Grab your phone right now, pull up settings, and remove all notifications. Now it's not going to ding at you, Mr. Pavlov's dog. Ding! We all do it. I'm just as guilty. I'm as ADHD as all the rest of you. I just can't take the medication because it makes my heart flip-flop. Terry, what's your takeaway?
Oh, the thing that frustrates me is it feels like it's like the same thing. That's my takeaway, and that's the consistency and the tracking my numbers. That are the huge things, and I'm just kind of having to deal with, okay, I know this. Go, ready, go, and so I struggle with that, and it's dumb, but I struggle with it. So,
and that's the accountability. So how can you 4, because there's 4 of you in here, make that accountability amongst yourselves? It doesn't have to be a Zoom call. It could be a check-in. It could be a group quick call. It can a group text. And you guys on a group meet, all of you. I'm starting. Me too. I just got an appointment. Way to go. I just talked to 6 people. Nice job. You have to build accountability around it. I couldn't do this by myself until, 26 homes is not a lot of homes to sell relatively. It's great. I was thrilled about that. but I just worked 24/7 to make it happen.
Mm.
Once I got the Kelly in there and the accountability and a coach, that just changed everything, because then I could focus on the things I needed to focus on. I didn't have to do everything, so you're more focused. But to get there, you got to be able to sell enough to be able to afford to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, did you do it? Nice. All right, guys. I'm 15 minutes past where I need to go because I got to prep for my next call.
Thank you.
I hope this was
Thank you.
helpful.
Thank you, Dayna.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Wendy, make sure they have my number in case they need help with something.
Will do.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye,
Have a
guys.
good day, guys.
Bye.
Hey, Wendy,
Yes.
is there more than just the